Those workers deserved better than one phone call leading to pink slips. Why did the Prime Minister bet the jobs of thousands of Canadians on a single phone call to the President?
Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that's simply not the case. From the very beginning, we have been there to support oil and gas workers across the country, including in Alberta and Saskatchewan. That's why 7 years ago, when I was a mere leader of the third party in the House of Commons, I went down to Washington to advocate for the Keystone XL pipeline to a room full of American Democrats to talk about the interconnectedness of our energy security, but also to advocate for more leadership on climate change. Over the past 5 years, we've demonstrated that investing in oil and gas and fighting climate change can go together.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I'd like to thank the Prime Minister for confirming he's had no success with the U.S. relationship for 7 years. The government's response since the Americans decided to kill Keystone has been complete surrender. Canadians are being told it was a campaign promise the Liberals didn't want to interfere with. The Liberals are now telling Canadians just to move on. Is this the kind of mail-it-in effort from this Prime Minister we're going to get when hundreds of thousands of Canadians are worried about their economic future?
Honourable Prime Minister.
How quickly the Leader of the Opposition forgets that the past 4 years were characterized by this government consistently standing up for Canadians right across the country, whether it be protecting supply management, whether it be protecting the cultural exemption, whether it be protecting our steel and aluminum workers, whether it's moving forward on defending Canadian interests against the previous administration, or working hand in hand on both fighting climate change and creating new jobs with this current administration. We will stay focused on sticking up for Canadians every step of the way.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, in just a few days, he's already lost thousands of jobs in both Canada and the U.S. from inaction, Mr. Speaker. We also know on vaccines, the government was talking to Pfizer last fall about logistics. They've known for months there were going to be problems with production. They didn't plan for it. This week, Mr. Speaker, there'll be no deliveries of the Pfizer vaccine. Next week, our order has been cut by 86%, more than any other country. Why are Canadians always paying for this Prime Minister's failure to act quickly?
Mr. Speaker, from the very beginning, we knew that there would be challenges with the global supply chains around vaccines as they were developed, which is why we set out and succeeded in signing more contracts with more different companies for more doses per Canadian than in any other country in the world. We know that momentary delays are happening on Pfizer, but we will be receiving hundreds of thousands of doses later in February, and we are still on track to vaccinating over 3 million Canadians by the end of Q1, and everyone who wants it by September.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Monsieur le Président, 18% des livraisons de vaccins ont été réduites partout le Canada.
Of vaccine deliveries have been cut in Canada. This week, no vaccine delivery, no distribution plan, delays in delivery. Canadians are worried. The Prime Minister must act now. When will this Liberal government take action to increase vaccine availability? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we are continuing to communicate with all the vaccine companies because we have signed more contracts with more vaccine companies for more vaccine doses than any other country. We are disappointed in the delays with Pfizer, but we are continuing to receive Moderna deliveries, and we are continuing to work with other companies to bring vaccines to Canada more quickly. I can assure Canadians that we will continue to hit our objective of getting 3 million or more Canadians vaccinated by the end of March.
Monsieur le Président.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. More doses, Mr. Speaker. Well, there will be 0 doses next week during the middle of the pandemic. There is a real problem in vaccine availability in Canada. Long-term care and seniors' residences are not receiving vaccines. This is a crucial juncture for all Canadians, and yet this week, 0 vaccines. Mr. Speaker, why are we always behind when it comes to vaccines and other health measures during this pandemic? The Right Honourable Prime Minister, I understand the Honourable Leader of the Opposition's concern with scoring political points, but we must not deliberately mislead Canadians. We will continue to receive Moderna doses. Yes, there is a temporary interruption in Pfizer deliveries, but we will continue to work closely with the company to ensure that we receive more doses in a few weeks when their factory is once again producing. We will be able to vaccinate everyone by September. We will be able to meet our end of March goal.